My name is Paoli. I'm from France. I'm here with the REFED, which is a student network for sustainability, and I'm here on behalf of the YOUNGO ACE working group, so the youth constituency group that works on action for climate empowerment. We've started to work within the working group at the COI, so last weekend before the opening of the COP, and we've decided that we would try to identify the challenges that ACE, so Action for Climate Empowerment, that includes education, public participation, public awareness, training, and public access to information. So we decided to identify the challenges faced by this principle in its implementation during the COP22 and during the implementation of the Paris Agreement. To do so, we've started to work with the COI 12, also with the local COIs, to take as many inputs as we could have on the subject, and the YOUNGO working group on ACE basically synthesized all these inputs to identify main challenges and to suggest solutions. In parallel of this work on the changes and the solution of ACE implementation, we also did an analysis of the NDC. So that was a tremendous work. We analyzed all the available NDCs, and we've been looking for words like education, youth, training, and we extracted all the paragraphs mentioning those words, and we analyzed all of them. So this allowed us to rate all NDCs, so all parties, from a score with grade and score from 0 to 5 concerning education and ACE, and grades from 0 to 3 concerning youth mentions. All meaningful mentions were studied carefully and evaluated. When the country proposed a precise plan of implementation concerning education, concerning public participation, we put a grade of 5, that was a maximum, and we did the same for youth. And so this led us to observe that only roughly 70 parties mentioned ACE in their NDC. Only 32% of the party, 70 included ACE, and only in the final one, 12% included both youth and ACE. So this is leading to one of our concerns, that is ACE and youth are very lack mention and lack acknowledgement in the NDC. So we did this careful analysis, resulted in the production of a big map with all the countries that mention ACE and youth, and also we managed to grade and rate all parties, and doing so we identified that mainly African countries and Caribbean countries were the one mentioning youth and education. We were struck by the lack of European countries and North American countries mentioning such principle. We nonetheless want to acknowledge the fact that mentioning education, ACE, and youth in the NDC doesn't relate with what is being done on the national level and what is being implemented by the country, but it shows a lack of transparency and a lack of mention for future policies. We wanted to confront the challenges and the solution we had observed concerning ACE and youth participation to the negotiations. To do so, we've reached to all delegations. We've sent an email to all national focal points from each party. We were very pleased to see that a lot of them replied to us, and we managed to meet around 20 different delegations last week. We were meeting with head of delegations, and we could mention what we've done, what we've identified, and we also could mention the results of the NDC analysis. Doing so, we have identified new challenges and new solutions that were coming from the suggestion of the parties. The first one is that a lot of parties lack an ACE national focal point. And when parties do have an ACE national focal point, there is a lack of capacity, a lack of a precise mandate for these focal points, and a lack of time, because it's not its main mandate. Therefore, this is going in the sense of the NDC analysis results, because it shows maybe a lack of acknowledgement of this ground principle that is ACE, and that we need to implement to work on the climate change solutions, because people need to be aware of climate change. The public need to participate in the implementation of the solutions and in the implementation of the Paris Agreement. As a result, we managed to take all the inputs from this delegation and to bring them to our policy paper. The youth constituency here in the negotiation is very eager to work hand in hand with all the delegations that want to. We have here two different papers. One is a policy paper, the other one is a summary of the analysis, and we would be very pleased to share them with anybody that is interested and to talk about them and to see how together we can find solutions to implement ACE and then implement the Paris Agreement.